Okay, good day everyone. So today's lesson is about navigating the workplace. Okay, so today is September 8th. So birthday ng the one, the only, Mama Mary. Okay, so sinabi ko lang ngayon kasi September 8 na, hindi pa ako tapos sa course pack, no? So ngayon, minamadali ko na. Okay, so navigating the workplace. So when we hear the word navigate, ano ba ang pumapasok sa isip natin? So perhaps isang sailor, isang bangkero na naliligaw sa karagatan, mountaineer na nag-explore ng kabundukan, a family na nagbabakasyon at perhaps nagtatanong ng directions how to go to a certain place. Or kayo, siguro, na naligaw sa UPLB during your first semester. A good thing, may Google Maps na available ngayon and hindi na tayo naliligaw masyado sa mga places na pinupuntahan natin. Pero pagdating sa workplace, there are no Google Maps that will show you how to navigate it. No? May mga times na akala mo tama yung direction na pupuntahan mo, no? Yung pala, hindi. No? Some people will help you along the way and unfortunately, some people will stray you off the path. No? They will make your path even worse. Okay? And you should try to avoid those people. Now, what are the things that you will navigate in the workplace? No? So, we'll discuss 4 things. No? The first one is, bagitin ko muna 4, multi-generational colleagues. No? So, that's number 1. Multi-generational colleagues. Number 2 is office politics. Number 3, in relation to number 1, no? Varying personalities. Number 4, upholding ethical values. Okay? So, isa-isahin natin yan. Ha? Now, the first one is the multi-generational colleagues. No? So, ano ba yung mga generations na alam natin? Nandiyan ang mga boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, kayo yon, no? Mga Gen Z, karamihan sa inyo. So, yan yung iba't ibang generation na meron tayo ngayon. No? If you do a Google search of these generations, you will see stereotypes of what they are like as a person, no? As an employee, yung mga ganyan. So, usually sinasabi, no? Boomers, pag mga boomers, parang laging galit, no? Stubborn, stupid, no? Mga ganyan. Gen X, millennials, bakit daw lazy, no? Rude. Millennials, bakit weak, no? Konting ano lang, no? Bakit parang suko ka agad? Bakit stupid? Gen Z, bakit self-centered? The me generation, no? Bakit stupid din? So lahat na lang ng generation, parang stupid sila para sa isa't isa, no? So kayo na, matalino, no? Okay. So some might think that the workplace is like a war zone between these generations. And to some degree, totoo yun, no? There are conflicts arising because iba yung perspective ng mga employees because of their upbringing, no? Yung mga generation nila. In my experience, we call the elder ones thunders or oldies, na? And we often disagree with their approach and philosophy in life, no? Same with the oldies, no? Hindi rin sila agree kung paano kung ano ang mga ideals ng mga mas bata sa kanila. Always comparing, saying things that their generation is better, no? Nung panahon namin, ganito, ganyan, no? Nung panahon namin, pinaghirapan namin yung mga gusto namin, ngayon, bigay na lang. So, why the comparison? No? All these bickering prevents us from having a fully productive and positive workplace. No? So, how do we bridge the generational divide? Okay? So, paano ba natin ipagkasundo yung iba't ibang generation? Yan, no? Or can we bridge it in the first place? Now, the keyword there is bridge. No? Although may certain expectations, some boomers, they share the values that younger generations have, and vice versa. No? So, mayroong ibang bata, parang mga boomer mag-isip, no? Mayroong mga boomer, parang millennial mag-isip, no? Mga ganon. Okay? For me, the idea of generations are holding us back, no? Especially sa workplace. No? We judge and we give stereotypes based about the person dahil sa generation nila. At guilty rin ako dito. No? I stereotype people or office mates based on their generation, how they look, how they speak. No? So what if instead of immediately judging them, no, and you will experience this once you start working in a few years, is we meet them halfway instead. No? Try to get them better in a personal level. No? You'll be surprised if to get along with people from other generations and even social status. Pero huwag nyo naman ipilit na, tara, no, mag-usap tayo para makilala kita. No? Kung ayaw niya makipagkilala sa iyo. So, dapat organic, no? Dapat natural yung getting to know each other. No? So, I remember some of my colleagues in De La Salle University. No? I had some close friends na matatanda na. No? And they are fun to be with. No? Nandiyan si Sir Ben. No? Usually, we talk about basketball, no? Kapag nagkakape-kape, nagla-lunch. Si Sir Paular, no? Yung Spanish teacher doon, no? So, sa Sumalangit Nawa, no? Matay na siya dati pa. So, nagpakasyon kami dati with the old and the young teachers, no? Sa Sagada, no? And we had fun, no? Because we looked beyond each other's age, no? Generation, no? So, get to know them better. Even si Madam Chair namin, si Ma'am Norse, no? Ayoko sa kanya dati. No? But upon getting to know her, mas na-appreciate ko na siya as a person. No? I'm trying to do that to other people as well. No? Pero yung iba, hindi talaga kaya. No? Ayoko talaga sa kanila. Kahit anong generation pa sila. Okay? Get to know them better through a cup of coffee. No? Pag-inom ng beer, no? Ng alak. Eat lunch together and see where they are coming from. No? That is the ideal thing to do. No? Pero medyo mahirap gawin yan. No? Kung labag naman talaga sa kalooban mo. Okay. Also practice some generational humility or humility in general. No? What happens kasi is pag may away sa office, madalas nagti-team up yung on one side, nandiyan yung mga bata. On another side, yung mga oldies and kaaway na, no? Okay? So, try not to think na better ang generation mo sa generation nila and vice versa, no? Kung kaya naman. Okay. Number 2 is office politics. This is an inescapable scenario once na nag-work na kayo, no? So, hindi lang sa gobyerno may politika, kundi sa workplace din, no? When we say office politics, dito pumapasok yung palakasan, pagiging sipsip, no? Kissing asses, no? Ng mga boss, no? Palakasan to get what you want, no? Who you know determines your status in the office. At times, it is not about your skill, but rather the people that you know. Okay? If you rub elbows and kiss the right ass ng mga tamang tao, no? Mga tao sa posisyon, then chances are you'll get a good social or professional position in the office. No? Hindi pala social, no? Professional position lang. Social-wise, you'll be hated kasi sip-sip ka, no? Tapos hindi pa maganda ugali mo. No? If you think of it, parang ang duming laro ng office politics. And to a degree, madumi naman talaga ang office politics. No? Now, the question is, will you play that game, which is yung office politics? Personally, ako, I hate it, no? I just try to do my work and try to be likable, no? Parang useless yung pagiging sip-sip, no? Ayoko yan, no? Iba talaga, kapal ng mukha. At to be honest with you, some employees are not working hard and yet they get the credit because they play the game, no? I don't know why. Sadly, if you want to get ahead, you might need to participate in this. Just be mindful that it corrupts your thoughts and your actions as well. No? So, corrupted ka na, isipin mo, paano ba ako makakalamang sa mga office mates ko? How will I get ahead? How will I get promoted? No? Instead of focusing on the real task, real job. No? Minsan, mga tatanga-tanga pa yung napupuri, no? Napopromote. Bakit ganon? Samantalang mga hardworking employees, hindi napapansin at times, no? Sometimes. If we expect a fair and honest workplace, then you are in for a rude awakening once you start working. No? So, as a new graduate, you have your idea of a perfect workplace. And then, pagpasok mo, bigla ka magugulat, wah, no? Ba't ganon ang sistema, no? Ba't siya na-promote? Ba't siya ganyan, no? Talagang masashock ka rin, no? Not everyone behaves honestly and ethically, no? Iba, wala talagang konsensya. Kung kailangan kanyang siraan to get ahead, sisiraan kanya, no? Some people lack the ability and are just too insecure to succeed on their own and instead rely on other means to get ahead. For me, at least for me, no, let your accomplishments and hard work speak for their own. No? Eventually, ang mag-shine through naman talaga yung skilled at hardworking employees. No? Though not every time. No? So, syempre, kung may trabaho, kung magaling ka, ikaw yung pupuntahan, hindi yung sip-sip, hindi yung bolero lang sa boss. No? Mga ganon, no? Sometimes, the workplace is also like a high school scenario. No? So, if you go back to your high school, ano ba meron sa high school? Meron mga bully. No? May mga chismoso, chismosa. May mga mean girls. No? At meron din yung talagang mga may concern sa'yo. Okay, so you need to assess yung mga office mates mo. No? You need to rise above the adversity, you know, or leave your job, no? Kung talagang toxic na ito, no? Office politics can be used for a good cause if malinis ang intentions mo and wala kang sasagasaan na tao, which is rarely the case, no? If you keep the company of the right persons, mentors, they will help you grow not only as a professional but more so as a person. Okay, so there are bosses that are really who are really concerned of your personal and your professional growth. No? Hindi lang puro trabaho, pero developing you as an individual. Okay, number 3. Varying personalities. No? So, first we discuss multi-generational colleagues. Then number 2, office politics. And the third one, we have varying personalities. So, hindi mawawala sa office yung mga epal, chismoso, chismosa, mga pabida, no? Pastar. Now, here are some things that you can do about them. No? So, be a star at your office, hindi pastar, no? By always doing excellent work. Okay, eventually, ikaw yung mapapansin, no? Tapos baka hindi ka na i-pair dun sa mga mediocre magtrabaho, no? I-pair ka dun sa mga kapwa mo na excellent magtrabaho. Okay? And also, one thing about doing excellent work is kahit anong paninira na gawin sa'yo, no? Is your work will speak for itself. Okay, next, number 2, avoid personal conflicts but engage in productive and healthy professional conflict. Okay, if you can, avoid personal conflicts. No? Now, ano ba itong professional conflict? No? So, engage in healthy professional conflict. Now, if hindi kayo magkasundo sa isang approach on how to do a task, that's a professional conflict. Okay? because that has a chance of leading to a better solution to a problem. No? Now ako, medyo guilty ako sa personal conflicts. I have had a number of frenemies in the office. No? And medyo it makes things awkward sometimes. No? Makasalubong mo sa opisina, no? And then pag kailangan mong makipag-trabaho sa kanila, hopefully hindi naman ako pinilit na makipag-collaborate sa kanila, no? But ayun, no? Mga ganun. Okay, number 3, no? This is only coming from me, no? Avoid the talker or gossipers, no? But be friendly and courteous. Okay? Ako, gossiper din naman ako, pero sa group of friends ko lang naman, no? Now, if you can, no, try to avoid yung mga sobrang daldal, no? Usap sa'yo, tapos biglang puro negative things lang, binubulong-bulong, puro paninira, no? Kasi, parang negative energy kasi siya, no? But if you can, no, maging civil ka lang sa kanila, no? Be at peace with everyone, no? And for me, do not divulge too much information, especially if di kayo ganun ka-close. No? Because, kapag ikaw naman nakaaway niya, he or she will use that information against you. Okay? Now, the last one is... Ano nga ba yung last one? Ayun, upholding ethical values. No? Now, this is another thing that you will need to navigate depending on your work. Okay? Halimbawa, sa sales, no? If you will sell a product, no? Kunwari, condo, kotse, or kung ano man yan, no? Or drug, no? Gamot, no? Will you resort to false advertising to sell your product? Okay? Or kung alam mo na meron pang mas better na product or package for that person, hindi mo ba i-divulge para lang ikaw ang kumita ng komisyon, mga ganun? Or baka may pinapagawa yung boss mo na parang tingin mo medyo unethical, illegal, no? Is that something that you are willing to do? Especially if you work for the government, no? Baka sa BIR ka, sa customs, they're asking you to manipulate the document, no? Para magmukhang mag-match yung budget, no? So that's something that you have to consider as well. Okay? Even doing things that will make you ahead of others, no? Kasama rin yan sa ethical concerns mo as an employee. Or kahit sa simpleng time card lang, kunwari, no? 9 o'clock ka dumating, 8 o'clock ang pasok mo, no? Ano bang susulat mo? 9 or 8, no? That's part of upholding your ethical values as an employee as well. No? Because kapag nasanay kang gawin yung maling bagay na, then parang wala na yan sa'yo, no? Ako, I'd rather you do the right thing, no? Kaysa yung malaki nga yung sweldo nyo, komisyon nyo, pero parang may buwabagabag naman sa konsensya nyo. Okay? So as UP graduates, no? Prospective UP graduates, hopefully, makagraduate kayo, no? Then, sana honesty, value nyo rin yan someday, no? I'm not saying I'm the most honest person, no? Now, people leave their workplace not simply because of the job, but also because of the people they work with, no? However, you should also examine yourself if you are the real problem. Baka iniisip mo, yung mga katrabaho mo yung problema, pero ikaw talaga ang problema. No? May kilala akong ganyan, no? Pa-victim siya, pero, pa-victim siya, no? Tapos siya naman talaga yung totoong problematic na tao, no? And he is dragging people to his miserable and lonely life. No? Pandemic na, online classes na, no? And he is making it all about himself. No? So, huwag kayong ganyan, no? Huwag kayong pa-issue sa opisina nyo, no? Hopefully, walang pasok. Hindi ko siya nakikita, no? For sure, one day, you will experience this whether you like it or not, no? Perhaps sa org ninyo, if you have an org, no? Sa OJT ninyo someday, you will get to observe this. or sa first job niyo, no? Dadating na lang yung araw, biglang boom, no? Bulat na kayo sa office politics at sa bad things about the workplace. And do try to learn from that experience. Okay? So, hindi naman super rich yung experience ko, but I think it's enough, no? Working 10 years, for almost 10 years na, no? I think enough na yung mga experience ko at natutunan ko to speak for it. No? Okay? So, thank you for listening.